Hello! We're back at it. We're gonna try and do part two of the Astro tutorial. Or I guess it's not part two, it's unit three. I think we left off, we were learning about CSS and how Astro has JavaScript and HTML in their files. So yeah, we're gonna keep going. I've played around with my setup a little bit. Last week was a lot of fighting with OBS, but hopefully this will go okay. Let me know if there are any like frame rate issues. We're learning as we go. Okay, let's jump back into things. Okay, so last we left off, we were in the Astro tutorial. Let's get back there. I did figure out what was wrong with my GitHub, like why I couldn't push to GitHub. I needed to create a new SSH key, a new GitHub SSH key. So I followed some docs to do that. Here, let me link them in the chat from last time. Dee. So this was the issue that I was running into. Basically on the GitHub side, they did something to update something like host keys or something like that. Here, it was this answer. Yeah, so they changed their RSA SSH host keys, which then meant that I needed to make a new SSH key on my end. So I followed the docs to do that. Let's see, it was this this page from the GitHub docs. You can do it. On how to make a new SSH key, and then once I did that, then it worked. So here, let's see if I can drop this in the chat. It won't let me paste. Hold, please. Let's see. Well, here, I'll open Twitch in another window. Let's see. I gotta figure that out. Why it doesn't let me post links in the chat in OBS. If anybody knows, let me know, because I don't know why. Let's see. We are really testing the limits of my internet. Whee! Let's see. Yikes, it is not great. Why is it being so slow? I'm on an Ethernet connection, so I don't know why this happens. It happens when I open OBS. Suddenly my internet speed goes down. Let's see. Chat. Well, at least that worked. Let's close this because it is clearly not happy. Okay, so let's see where we left off. We were in the Astro tutorial. But now that now that Git is working, let's see, let me go to my terminal. Because now that I was able to push this to GitHub, I should be able to deploy it to Netlify, which would be fun. So let's circle back to where we left off in this tutorial. Let's see. Okay, deploy your site to the web. All right, add your GitHub repository as a new Netlify app. We can do that. Deploy your Astro site to the web. Okay. So we're going to use Netlify, but you could host it other places. Okay, let's follow the tutorial. Okay, we do have a Netlify account. Here, let me pull this tab out so we can put it down here. All right. Let's see. Is this being super choppy? It's telling me that I'm skipping frames. Here, let me check in this other window. Yeah, it does not look great. Let's see. Does the audio work? Let me close this. Maybe it's just too many things to have open. Let's see. It was doing okay when I was just recording to my computer. So let me look at my OBS settings. Maybe I'm using a different kind of encoding when I'm streaming. Let's see how it's going. Let's see, stream settings. I guess it won't let me change it while I'm streaming, which makes sense. I don't know, maybe I have to change this encoder preset. It's too much to handle. Well, today may just be hopping on and off the stream, trying to figure out how to do it. All right, yeah, we have to do something. So let me stop the stream. I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to try changing this preset. Actually, it looks like I can change it on the fly. What will this do? Apply? Here, I'll have to see if I'm... Here, let me pop this out. Can I not? Are you not gonna let me? Oh, I guess because this window is open. So let's try that. Let's pop out these stats. Let's look at this. Okay, so I'm skipping a bunch of frames due to encoding lag, which maybe means you can't even see this, but let's reset this because I changed that setting. Ooh, yeah, nope. Still not good. Okay, let's think about what we know. So it was fine when I was recording. I mean, maybe I can't record. Maybe I can't record and stream at the same time. I mean, we can try. Here, I guess I could stop the recording. We'll stop recording locally. We'll keep streaming. We'll see if this changes anything. Oh yeah, I'm getting a note that it says encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding preset. We're trying. We're trying. Okay. If we reset this, yeah, it's not happy. You are not happy. Why? We did turn down the encoding preset. Let's see. Maybe this MacBook is just too weak. Ultra fast. Can I even change this? Nope, that's the only option. I mean, let's see, video. Could lower the resolution, maybe. Okay, well, this is going down, this number. That seems good. Let's see, if we refresh it. Okay, okay. All right, this seems better. Let's check the Twitch. Is this better? Are the settings, is it still lagging? Are we still skipping frames? Let a girl know. Okay. It looks like this might be working. So clearly, computer can't handle streaming and recording at the same time. So we'll have to figure out that, but that's a future problem. Okay. In the meantime, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna add a note. Let's go back to this guy. All right. Da-da-da. What do I need to do? To figure out how to get, or how to download the VOD from Twitch. I guess maybe I should just stream directly to YouTube, because if I want that to end up there anyway, maybe that would be better. I also have to figure out how captions are gonna work now, because I have captions coming through Twitch, hopefully. Let me know if you can't see captions. Figure out how to download captions. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so where were we? We were trying to figure out Netlify. Okay, we're back. We're back. All right, make note of your username. Okay. Click add new site. Add new site. Import an existing project. You'll be asked to connect to a Git provider. Okay, we're gonna use GitHub because that's where my repo is. Join us at a conference. Fun. Leave me alone. Okay, so this is asking me to authorize Netlify. I just got a little pop-up. Okay, great. Now we're being redirected. Hopefully it's working. Okay, let's deploy, what did we call this? Astro stream or something like that. Astro tutorial. No? Yeah, Astro tutorial stream. Okay, We want to deploy this. Oh, I should follow the instructions. Okay, we are. Choose your Astro projects GitHub repository from the list. At the final step, Netlify will show you your app's site settings. Okay, site name. Astro tutorial stream. .netlify.app. Let's call this Megan E. Sully. Astro tutorial stream. La la la. Oh, check availability. Great. Build settings. Yep, we want to build a main branch, base directory. Does it tell me to just use the defaults? Yeah, okay, the defaults should be correct. So you can scroll down and click deploy. Suspense. Is it gonna work? Okay, great. Site deploy in progress. Change your project name. Oh, okay, we did this. Visit your new website. Okay, we need this to finish. Oh, did it work? Let's see. If we open this. Oh, that's the other thing that I need to figure out. Figure out why I can't drop links in the chat in OBS. Eesh. Let's see, can I type things in the chat? Uh-oh, skipped frames. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I can type things in the chat. I just can't drop links. That's probably a moderation setting, but I can add myself as a mod to my own stream. Surely that must be a thing. Okay. Cool, this is our site. This is a good refresher of where we left off. Okay, that's right. So we had an about page, we had some global styles that we were playing with, and then we had some page specific styles. And then now we've got, okay, we've got our blog page, we've got some Markdown. Okay, that's right. These were written in Markdown. Oops. Right, these posts are written in Markdown, but we don't have any styles applied. So hopefully we'll figure that out. All right, let's see. We visited our website. Test your knowledge. You want to update the home page of your existing site. What steps do you take? Didn't we do this? Open a terminal. Yeah, because this is the one where it's an existing site. Make an edit to the Astro page and then push it to GitHub. Okay, so I guess it doesn't save your answers to these knowledge checks, but it does save your checklist status. Okay, great. I can view my updated website online. Hooray. Did we do it now? Let's see. Where was the tracker? Okay, up here. Great, we've done this. Page, where did we leave off here? Create your first Astro page. I think this was probably also something to do with deploys. Let's see. Yeah, we went through this. Okay, I can commit my changes. Well, here, we can test this. So we're just trying to see if I make a change and then push it to GitHub, then the live Netlify site will update. Okay, so let's change this published. Let's change this published on date, since that's easy. What's today? 2024. 8/28. This year is flying by. Okay, get status. Let me close this. Get status, get add. Okay, great. That's the one change we made. We want to keep that. So now I want to commit this. Fix. What am I trying to say? New published date for a blog post. Git push. All right, hooray! And it's working now. Progress. Okay, so now that should start a new deploy of our Netlify site. Let's see, where would I go to see that? I assume here, if I refresh. Is there some way to be like, it's working, things, they're being deployed. Okay, published at 7:04. What time is it? 7:05. Great. Let's refresh this now, and then this publish date should change. Yay! Hooray, we're doing it. Okay. Now what? Now we want to check this off. Okay, let's go back to this tutorial tracker. All right, we did unit 2, now we're gonna do unit 3. Components. Okay, unit 3 components. Now we have an Astro and MD file generating entire pages on your website. We do. It's time to make and reuse smaller bits of HTML with Astro components. We love it. Reusability. Okay, in this unit, you will learn how to create Astro components to reuse code for common elements across your website. Cool, we'll build a navigation component. I feel like we talked about this last time. A navigation component to present a menu of links on our page. Cool, so that's replacing this stuff. A footer component to include at the bottom of the page. A social media component used in the footer that links to profile pages. Okay, an interactive hamburger component to toggle the navigation on mobile. Love that. Okay, so a bunch of different components. Along the way, you'll use CSS and JavaScript to build a responsive design that reacts to screen sizes and user input. Okay, cool. From like an education perspective, like if we're looking at the tutorial through the lens of a developer educator, I really like this practice of setting the context at the beginning of being like, okay, this is the big picture map of what we're gonna do in this lesson. Because then as a student, even if you don't know how to do any of these things yet, you might not know what they mean. At least it gives you a roadmap of like, this is where we're going, this is where we're headed. So good job, Astro team. Okay, I'm ready. We love it. Hyping people up. Okay. Make a reusable navigation component. Now that you have the same HTML written in a bunch, written in multiple pages of your Astro site, it's time to replace that duplicated content with reusable Astro component. Okay, great. I love this too. It's like telling us why are we doing this? Like, why do we care? Get ready to create a new folder for components, build an Astro component to display your navigation links, replace existing HTML with new reusable navigation content. Okay. Create a new source components folder. Let's come back over here now. Source components. Okay. This is going to hold the Astro files to generate HTML, but that will not become new pages. Okay, so everything in this pages directory, this feels pretty standard. Everything in here will have its own page on your site created. But then this one is just little bits of code that we want to use on our site, but use on other pages, not create a standalone thing. Okay, navigation.astro. Copy your links to navigate between pages from the top of any page and paste them into your new file. All right, let's go to our About page. Oof, all this stuff. So we wanted to grab this navigation. Copy. Paste. Okay, and I guess because it's an Astro file, we need this, I forget what they called it. It's the like code fences, but I can't remember if they gave it like an Astro name, like the Astro front matter or something like that. If there's nothing in the front matter of your Astro file, you don't need to write the code fences. You can always add them back in if you need them. Okay. All right, import and use navigation.astro. So now we've got this component. Now we're saying instead of using this hard-coded one, let's use the component we just made. So I assume we're going to delete this. Oh, first we're going to import it. Makes sense. Where did they put this? At the top? Okay, they put it at the very top. Import navigation from components navigation.astro. Here, let's close this again. Why is this red? Oh, no, we're good. Okay, so now we've imported it into our page, and now we want to actually use it. Okay, so this feels like standard. I guess it's not React because we're not using React, but this feels like standard JSX stuff. Navigation. Okay, check the preview in your browser. Oh, I guess we got to run this locally. What was it? npm run. Oh, is it dev or develop? I think it's dev. Testing my recall. But you know, it's supposed to be how you learn stuff. Just a little bit of retrieval practice. Oof, she's crawling along though. It looks like we're still skipping frames, but not as many as before. So let me know if it gets bad. I don't know what we'll do about it, but we'll do our best. Okay. Try it yourself. Add navigation to the rest of your site. I guess we can do this while we're waiting for it to load up. Oh, nope, there it goes. It heard me. Heard me threatening to move on. Okay, localhost 4321. You can do it. Thinking. Okay. Great. So what page was this? The About page. It should look exactly the same because we just copied and pasted the same navigation. But at least we didn't break it. So that's good. Small wins. Okay, so now we're going to do this same thing in our other pages. So let's do that. Blog. We're going to come in here and import, what was it? Components, whoops. Capital navigation dot Astro. I forget, did we have to have the dot Astro? Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to come in here and we want to replace this with a navigation. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. Import. Did I do that import wrong? Yeah. Because we're not importing the whole file, we're importing this component from this file. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Import navigation from okay. Now let's come back here and replace this. Can you hear that? Clifford is dreaming. You're okay, Bubba. He's very chatty when he snores. He has a lot of dreams. His tail's wagging though, so hopefully they're happy dreams. He has been having a lot of vet appointments recently, so hopefully he's not too traumatized. Okay. So we are checking this page. Blog page works, home page works. We didn't add it to our... We didn't add it to our actual blog posts, so nothing's going on there yet. Okay, cool. Nothing has changed. Add it to the rest of your site. We did. We did both these things. Note, when you restructure your code but do not change the way your page looked, you're refactoring. Okay, so before we had said that these blue notes we were guessing that maybe they were, we had a couple different guesses. We were guessing that like maybe they're for more experienced developers, and then we were guessing that maybe they were for Astro specific to like suggestions, but this one feels like one of the entry level ones, which before we were seeing in purple, in the purple rocket ship callouts. So I don't know. I don't know what the pattern is for these notes. That would be one thing that maybe could be improved upon. I think this tutorial does a lot of things really well, but that's one thing in particular where it's like, okay, who's the audience for these notes? Is it consistent across the whole tutorial? It seems like it's not, but whenever you have different colors for different things, like my brain wants to try and categorize it of like, okay, what's the pattern here? So if there's no pattern, I would say just use the same colors for all of them. But if there is a pattern, then let people know what it is, because I don't know. I can't figure it out. Okay, this allows you, okay, so this is talking about what refactoring is. This allows you to get started quickly, often duplicated throughout the project. Okay, then you can improve your existing code's design incrementally without changing the outward appearance of your site. This reminds me of, like in my first developer job, we talked a lot. We had like a boot camp thing at the beginning for new hires. Like if you were an entry level hire, you would go to, I actually went to China for like 5 or 6 weeks to do this like entry level boot camp where they trained all of the like business analysts and developers and designers like from the world. Like we would go to one place to do a bunch of trainings. Like we would learn a bunch of stuff, and then we also had like a project simulation where they would have the trainers pretend to be a client, and then you would like build them a website. I forget what it was about. I feel like there were bikes involved. But you like built a website to get some practice of what it would look like, because this was a consulting job. Like I was a software developer consultant, and so it was teaching you, you know, enterprise software, like what's it like to work on a large project with other people, but also like what are the client interactions like, and how do you set expectations with clients and do demos and stuff like that. But one of the things that they, long tangent, but one of the things that they talked about a lot is this idea of Yagni, like you aren't going to need it, of you don't want to over engineer things at the beginning because you don't know how long that code is going to be in the code base. You don't know if they're going to need to change functionality down the line. So you might as well just build it the easy way first, and then if you need to, then you can refactor it later once you've got everything working. Okay, testing your knowledge. Cool. You can do this. You can do this when you have elements repeated on multiple pages. What? You can do this when you have elements repeated on multiple pages. Okay, I guess it's like, which of the following can you do when you have elements repeated? Okay, this is the answer, right? Because we were just doing components. These other two are not related to anything. Yeah, the wording is interesting because technically you can restart the dev server. It's maybe not gonna do anything different. Like at work, we just finished doing all these assessment projects where we're like building an exam for people to get certified in our tools. But so we spent a ton of time talking about like how questions are worded and like are the options, like are they reasonable answers, like are they plausible, what do they call them, plausible distractors, where it's like it could be a right answer but you're trying to tease out like what the student actually knows of, like, okay, are they stuck on a misconception? Like, do we throw in some answers where if they've got a particular misconception about a concept, they'll think that that one sounds reasonable, but if you have a deeper understanding, then you know, like, oh, that one's not right, it's this other correct answer. Yeah, assessment questions are hard. It's an interesting puzzle, but it's definitely tough to get right. Actually, one resource, while we're talking about things, one resource that I really love is called Teaching Tech Together. And, excuse me, there's this really great book called Teaching Tech Together. I'm blanking on the author's name. I think it's Greg Wilson. Yeah, by Greg Wilson. And it's online for free. So if you want to, oops, translate this page. No. If you want to learn a ton about developer education specifically, this is a great starting point, because he spends a lot of time talking about, you know, building different types of assessment so that you can measure whether students are actually learning what you think that they're learning or want them to be learning. Let's see, can I manually type in a link in here? Teachtogether.tech. Haha, a loophole. Okay. But yeah, this is one of my favorite resources to recommend to people who are getting started with developer education. Actually, I don't know if you're just getting started, I don't know if this will be overwhelming, but it's definitely a great resource, and it's one that I refer back to a lot. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. Okay, Astro components are reusable fragments of HTML. Both. ¿Por qué no los dos? Correct. Okay. Astro components will automatically create a new page. See, so this is an example of what I'm talking about, where it's like if you've got a baseline understanding of like, okay, Astro components are HTML files, but you might not know the difference between a component and a page. So this is an assessment question that's like teasing out that level of understanding. Yeah, so it's this one. Makes a new page on your site when you put it within source/pages. Yay. Okay, checklist. I can refactor content into reusable components. Great. I can add a new component to an Astro page. We did both those things. Create a social media footer. Okay, so this is some new content that we don't have on our site yet. Get ready to create a footer component. Create and pass props to a social media component. Okay. It's time to use a component within another component. It's turtles all the way down. Okay. Create a footer component. So we're going to go into here. Source/components. Footer.astro. My computer is lagging. Hopefully it's looking okay. It looks okay. Well, it looks okay on Twitch from my end, but my poor little laptop. Footer.astro. All right, copy the following code into your new file, footer.astro. Great. So let's copy this, and then let's look and see what we've got. Platform is GitHub, username is with Astro. All right, so setting some variables, which we learned about last time. Learn more about my projects on, okay, platform/username. Ah, I see. Because I was wondering, like, it seems kind of funny to pull out, like, why not just have this link be hard-coded? But I guess this makes sense, because if you want to use the name of the platform in the actual text, although this is not going to have capitalization, right? You have to be, either this is going to have, what is it, the Pascal case, or this is going to have lowercase, right? Because it's only one value. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sidetracked. All right, so we've got this footer component, and then I bet we're going to add this to all of our pages. Add the following import statement. Yeah, okay. So let's go to, I guess it doesn't matter what order we do it in. Let's come up here. Import footer from components, footer.astro. And then we were using semicolons. Okay, so inside the body, at the bottom, I'm assuming, yeah, right before this closing body tag, let's add the footer. in your browser, preview it. Okay, what page is this? About page. You can do it. All right, hooray! So cool. It doesn't look like anything fancy, but that's okay. See, so this is what I was saying is like the capitalization. The capitalization is going to use whatever it is in that variable. So here it's all lowercase because it was all lowercase in here. All right. Personalize your footer. Customize your footer to display multiple social networks. Whoa. God, am I even on? I guess I'm on LinkedIn. Let's see. Platform. Here, we can put in GitHub. Oh wait, this is GitHub. Username. What's my username, Megan Isu? Learn more about my projects here. Okay. What do I want to say? Or if you're feeling fancy, connect with me on LinkedIn. I guess we could pull out, like we could pull out a variable here, but why? Like it's so small. This is an example of the YAGME thing. Like if this isn't really giving us that much benefit, the like username, I guess I understand, because if you use the same username across multiple platforms, then maybe that's fine, but this feels like a bit of an over-optimization at this point. LinkedIn.com. Is it also Megan Isu? Is this gonna work? Internet, why are you so slow? Yikes, now it says my frame rate is super low. It was at like 16 for a second. How are we doing, folks? Is this working at all? It does look a little laggy. I guess this is a sign we need to just get a new computer. It's been a while. Honestly, I don't think that I've gotten a new computer since, well, like myself, I don't think that I've purchased a new computer since college. I had like a MacBook that I got when I went to college. And then this is an old work computer that I got to keep when I left the company. So it's been a hot minute. Okay. What were we doing? Okay, we were trying. So this is the same username. All right, so we can use that. Let's put this in here. ahref equals. Why is this? Oh, I guess because they're using JavaScript. Okay. I was thinking, like, why do we need this? Why do we need these curly brackets? But it's because we're using what is this called? Is it string interpolation, where you are shoving variables into your strings? I guess let's do that. HTTPS www.linkedin.com/in/ whoops, $, and then curly brackets. And what was this variable? Username. Okay. Let's reload this and see what happens. Oops, wrong page. This page. Yay! Great. because I'm feeling feisty, I'm going to change this. Well, no, let me not change it, because who knows, maybe it's in there for a reason. Let's just let's just go along with it. All right. Code check-in. Was I supposed to add this footer to every page? Yeah, I think I got sidetracked. Let's see, we added it to about. Did we add it to home? Looks like nope. So let's do that. Let's go to the home page. And then we're going to import footer from components / footer.astro. And then let's come down here, and then it went at the bottom, footer. Okay, that's 1 page, 2 page, red page, blue page. Okay. Footer from components. Footer.astro. And then we'll put this at the bottom. All right. So we've got it on our homepage, we've got it on our blog, we've got it on our about page. Look at us. Reusing content. Okay. They said that we were going to use components within components. So I wonder what's coming next, because we haven't done that yet. These are still just individual components. If you've been following along, your Astro index should look like this. Page title, page title. Did we not have? Yeah. Great. Looking good. Create a social media component. Okay. Oh, see, this is where we're... The thing is, though, this isn't going to work depending on... Okay, so what's happening now is we're making a social media component so that all of our links will look the same. But the problem is not all of these links use the same format. Like LinkedIn, to get to your profile, it has this extra /in in between the .com and the username. So I see what they're going for, though. The intention is pure. Since you might have multiple online accounts you can link to, you can make a single reusable content component and display it multiple times. Each time you'll pass it different properties, props. Okay, so this is a little intro to props. All right, well, let's follow the trail. We could pass in the link and the display name instead. All right, before we get too rowdy, let's follow the instructions. So social.astro. We're going to copy this code in. Whee! All right, so we're saying for this component, pull out the platform, pull out the username from props, and then render a link component, use the platform and the username in the href, and then use the platform name here. I think I'm going to change it. Let's do what they want us to do first, but then I think I'm going to go rogue. Change the code in source components. Okay, source components footer to import and then use this new component 3 times. But I only have 2 socials. Oh, YouTube. I guess we have a YouTube now. I can put that. Twitter, RIP. Okay, so let's delete this. What have we said? Import social from... No, this isn't the same. This, force of habit. Social.astro. Whoops. All right, and now... Oh, so we lose our quippy dialogue, but that's okay. Social platform equals GitHub. GitHub. Oh, I like that better. If you're feeling down, just go to GitHub. Username equals, we said Meganisu. Oops, social platform, LinkedIn, username, Meganisu, and then social platform equals YouTube. Username, this one I think is Meganisully. Should really be consistent, but I'm in too deep. All right, let's delete these then. So that should work. I guess I wonder if we were really trying to do semantic HTML, we would probably want to put these in a list, no? In an unordered list. Check your browser preview. Okay, cool. Does this work? I don't know. Nope, not found. I don't know what my GitHub is, or what my YouTube is. Or maybe this is not how those URLs work. Let's see. Let me open in a new tab over here, just in case, because I don't know what I have going on. YouTube.com. Like what, like, see, this is where I'm wondering if the structure of the YouTube URLs is also different. Like if it's not as simple as, you know, youtube.com/username. I haven't checked recently. Man, the internet is crawling. View your channel. Oh yeah, see, they've got an @sign. So I'm gonna go rogue. This is not the point of this part of the lesson, I think, but we're gonna change the way that this social component works. So we're gonna pass in, instead of platform, here, let me close this so we can see. Let me turn on text wrap. Is it this one? Yeah. What was that? Option Z to turn on text wrapping. So instead of platform and username, I want to pull out link and display name. Or yeah, let's do that. Display name. So then this in here, we're just going to put the link. And then here, we're going to put the display name. Display name. Okay. So now let's come in here. Let's change the way that these work. This should be mad because, yeah, it doesn't get either of those props. So it's probably rendering an A tag, but just with nothing in it. Let's see. A rabbit hole we're going down. But see, this is good. This is like how we validate our understanding. We're checking to see, does this actually work the way that I think that it works? So inside of our footer, yeah, see, so we have 3 links here. I guess Astro does do something to the links. Maybe this is just happening in dev mode. I don't know. But anyway, Astro adds some extra stuff in it, but there's no href because we didn't pass in a link prop. And there's no, what did we say? There's no content in here because we didn't pass in a display name prop. So now we can go back to our footer. Whoops. Fix that here. So social, I've already forgotten. I said link equals, this is going to be some string, and then display name is going to equal some other string. All right, so let's delete this stuff. So this first one was GitHub. So what was my GitHub link? Oh, github.com. This one I think might just be regular, but then in my display name, I want to do GitHub, right? So we can have our branded capitalization or whatever. I wonder if I have to have HTTPS at the beginning. Let's see. Because it might try to add this, like, go to the github.com page. Yeah, see how at the bottom it tries to, oh, it's going to be so tiny. It tries to add the github.com to the end of the current path, which is not what I want. So I want to be like start over https://. Whoops. Said the S, didn't type the S. Or if I didn't say it, I at least thought it. That's got to count for something. Yeah, it looks like we're dropping more frames now. I really might have to get a better laptop for this, because this is going to be a struggle. Was there another option? Could I go down any more? Could I lower the quality any more than I've already done? Or change the encoding? Whoa. Where was it? Nope. Output? Ultra fast. Yeah, no, this is as low as we go. Okay, well, we'll figure this out later. All right, so now that this has been updated, this should go to the right place. Yikes. Slow. Okay, but at least that link works. So now we've at least got a pattern that we can use for the other two. You can do it. All right, so then this one, let's duplicate this 2 times. So we've got linkedin.com, whoops, linkedin.com, and this had the /in, and then the username, and then this display name is going to be LinkedIn, and then this one is going to be youtube.com, and then this had the @ YouTube. All these brands with their Pascal case names. All right. Great. This, I'm just going to trust that these will work because the internet is chugging along as best as it can, and I really don't want to push it, push my luck too much. All right, check your browser preview. Cool, so we've gone a little bit rogue, but I think it was for the better. Style your social media component, all right. So this is adding styles. Oh, this is to the social. Okay, back to the social component. So now underneath our link, we're gonna add some styles. What have we said? A tag, add some padding, color, white, background color, text decoration, none. Interesting. An interesting choice. I'm not a designer. Who am I to say? Okay, let's reload this page. Do I have to refresh it? Or maybe it's just thinking, oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Great. So we've got some links, some cute little buttons. Well, I guess they're not really buttons. They look like buttons. Add a style tag. To the footer to improve the layout. Okay. Got deja vu. Okay, so we're coming into the footer and we're adding. See, this one it adds. This one it added above the content. The other one it added below. These are like little nitpicky things, but if you're new, right? Like if you were a new developer and you don't know if it matters to go above or below, I don't know. Like this could be intentionally designed this way to be like, you can put them either above or below, or it could be we missed that these don't match. I don't know. I think that if you're teaching beginners, it's good to give them like the best practices, like set them up with good habits that you want them to use moving forward. So I don't know if the team has an opinion on whether to put them above or below for consistency reasons, but that's a little thing that I noticed that I would tweak. And the goal is always just to minimize the amount of cognitive load for the user. So like your brain can only hold so many pieces of information at once. And so you, as the developer educator, you want to make sure that their brain is full of the pieces that you want it to be full of. Like you want them to be thinking about the components, like how components work. You maybe don't want them to be thinking about like, why does this style go above or below, right? Because then that's distracting them from the actual learning objective. So a lot of these little nitpicky things, they feel pedantic, but like they're ultimately in service of creating a better learner experience because you've minimized the cognitive load. A little fancy phrase that you can throw around if you want to sound legit. All right. Anyway, I'm going to put them at the bottom because I like knowing what a component is going to do before I know what it's going to look like. But that's just me personally. That's the call that I have made. Okay, so what is this going to do? Display flex. I guess I don't know why you need, I guess maybe you need the display flex to give you the gap because they're already all in a row. Margin top, okay, and then just add a little bit of spacing between the rest of the content and the footer. Yeah. So this gap got a little bit bigger. Can you see this? Let's make this a little bigger. This gap in between the buttons, between the links, they're not buttons, between the links got a little bigger, and then there's more space in between here. Check your browser preview. We did. Test yourself. What line of code do you need to write in an Astro component's front matter to receive the values of title, author, and date as props? Well, this one is also written interestingly because the front matter, the component front matter, is not putting data into props. Like, it's not changing what props you receive. It's changing like stuff. It's changing like when you render the component, that's when you give it its like bucket of props saying like, hey, this is all the stuff that I'm putting in here. But then the component itself just gets the bucket, and it's like, I can take things out of here, but I can only take out stuff that's already been put into the bucket, if that makes sense. So the way that this is worded is a little bit deceptive because it could make you think that this line of code inside of your component, anyway, it's going to be this one, but like this could be making you think that this line of code is adding the components or is adding the props into the component. But really what it's doing is saying, hey, I've already got astro.props. Like, that's just a thing that components have, is this bucket of props. So take out the thing called title and the thing called author and the thing called date. Let's see. If I were editing this, how would I reword this? What line of code do you need to write in an Astro component's front matter to access the values of title, author, and date from props? Like, maybe that's how I would reword that. Assessments. They're hard. Okay, submit. Watch me give that whole dialogue and then be wrong about which answer it was. Okay, yeah, and then this one is how do you pass values as props? So how do you get things into that bucket of props? So then this one will be where you actually render it. So this is this one. Were these the same options across the two? Yeah. Okay, so that's nice. At least you don't have to think about a whole new set of options. It's just like pick the right one from this list of answers. Anyway, back to coding. Checklist. I can create new Astro components. We did that. I can import and use Astro components inside of other Astro components. Cool. I can pass props to an Astro component. Nice. I love this little, it's like a way to remind yourself, what did we learn in this lesson? So it's partially like, oh, are all of the things working that you need to have working at the end of this lesson? But it's also a good reminder of like, hey, these were the key takeaways from this lesson. Like this is what you learned how to do that you didn't know how to do before, maybe. Okay, how are we doing on this guy? All right, 2 more. Let's see how far we get. I'll try and chat less. Fewer tangents. We're gonna focus now. Now we're in focus mode. Build it yourself. Header. Okay, great. Now we get to do things ourselves. Time to create a page navigation that can respond to multiple screen sizes. Cool. Create a header for your navigation or for your site that contains the navigation component. Make it responsive. All right. Testing my CSS skills live. Try it yourself. Build a new header component. Okay. This is the part I feel confident about. It's like just structuring things that I can do. Oh wait, we already called it. This one's called header. Header.astro, and then this one is going to import, I guess what else do we need? We need like a page title probably. Okay, let's add our code fence, and we're gonna import navigation from navigation.astro. Now what? I guess we'll render it. There's a header component, right? that goes along with footer, HTML, header. Yeah, header tag. I guess we could have just tried it and seen what happens, but a little Google never hurt. Okay, so we'll stick, whoops. Why isn't, oh, I turned off the, how do I move up a line? Nope, not that one. Is it Option Shift? There we go. I used to have my VS Code, I had an extension, because in my old job we used to use IntelliJ, so I had all the keyboard shortcuts for IntelliJ memorized. And so then I had a plugin for VS Code that was just like, make all the keyboard shortcuts the IntelliJ shortcuts. But then I hit a point where I was like, okay, I haven't used IntelliJ for years now, and people use VS Code, and if I'm like teaching stuff, I should probably be teaching the VS Code shortcuts. But so now I'm in this weird in-between stage where I don't know the keyboard shortcuts, and so I'm like trying to rebuild, like reprogram my brain to be like, no, it's not that shortcut, it's this new one. We're doing our best. See, that's an example of cognitive load that is bad. That's not the point of what we're doing now, but you know, everybody's got their own stuff that they're trying to juggle, so it's just the reality of things. All right, so this should not be doing anything different yet because we're not actually using this header component anywhere. Update your pages. Yeah, I guess let me add something in this to be like, what was the point even of me pulling this out? I guess we'll just add a title or something. Span. I'll just put this in a span. Whoops. Megan's cool Astro site. And then I guess we'll probably need some styles. I guess let's do, what am I doing? So the header, let's say display flex. Let's say, what is it? It's like space between or something like that. If I want to shove them apart. Flex box CSS tricks. I use this all the time. A great reference. I guess. Hello, a friend in the chat. How's it going? How long have I been coding for? Today or like in life? I studied CS in college. That was like my first time ever programming. And honestly, that was a lot. In a CS degree, it's an interesting time to let that be your first time programming. But we made it through thanks to some very kind friends and professors. Today, we've been coding for maybe like an hour and a half. I'm not quite sure. What about you? How long have you been coding for? Let's see, what were we doing? We were trying to find... we were trying to find out how to put space in between. I think it's called space between, but I can't remember what the oh, here, justify content. What the property name was. That's what I'm trying to say. Justify content space between. All right. Oh, and it's still not going to do anything because we don't have the, we don't have this header imported anywhere. So let's change this. So I want to, instead of importing the navigation, let me close this. Instead of importing the navigation, I want to import header. See, this is another example where it's like, I know an IntelliJ shortcut for how to select multiple occurrences of this, but I don't remember what the VS Code one is. Is it Option Shift? Nope, that's not it. Option Shift was to move the line. Nope, that's not it either. We'll just do it manually. Header, header. What am I looking for? This one. Header. I guess we could do a find and replace if we're looking for navigation. How do I add the replace? Let's see, view. Edit, where is it? Oh, replace. Oh, R, that makes sense. Oh, but I want to do the global one. Maybe Shift R, Command Shift R. Okay, we want to replace this with header. Okay, not in this component, but in the blog file. Yeah, I think we want to do all of those. And then this is in the index. We want to do all of those. All right, did that work? We'll see. Oh, nice. Took a Java class here. Took a Java class recently, and it was a lot of work. I barely got a C. Yeah, Java is hard with the types and everything, and like everything is classes. I remember that being finicky. Been coding since 2013. Nice. But know very little. I'm sure that you know more than you think that you know. That's something something that I try to like remind students is just like, you know, by the time that you get to the end of one class, like you know a lot more than somebody who's coming in who hasn't ever programmed before. So it's a good like moment of reflection, I guess, to be like, oh, I know stuff. Even if it's not all of the things. That's something that I try to remind myself too, is like nobody knows everything about programming or about anything in life, right? Like we're always learning new things, and like being open to that is very freeing, because then it makes it easier to be like, well, I don't feel bad saying I don't know something, because nobody was born knowing any of this. So yeah, I would say don't feel bad about it. I'm sure you know more than you think that you know. All right. I said that I wasn't going to get sidetracked, and then I immediately got sidetracked. Okay, so we've built a header component. Okay, great, and it's showing up on our page, and it looks like a little nice, so that's exciting. Try it yourself. Okay, we did this. If you inspect your preview, you now have elements like header. Let's see, body. Yeah, there's our header. Cool. It's not cute, but it gets the job done. All right, update navigation.astro to use a class. Okay. I guess, why use a div instead of a nav? We already have a nav, so I'm going to use that instead, because semantic HTML, we like that. What am I looking for? Navigation. Okay, I don't actually want this open. Okay, so we're adding a class name. nav links. And then now we're going to copy the styles. Copy the CSS styles below. Oh, into global. So I don't have to put this here. This goes in the global styles. Oh, great. They're going to give it to me. I don't have to know it. Cool. Oh, man. My CSS skills, like I can get the job done, but it is slow sometimes. I'm still working on the building the level of automaticity so that you can like do it, like the muscle memory, to be able to do it quickly. Let's see. Global.css. Can I just replace this whole thing? Let's replace this whole thing and then we can look and see what's different. Do I teach professionally? I do. So I right now I work as a developer educator or like an instructional designer at Workday. So I'm like teaching people how to use, it's called Workday Extend. It's like a tool that lets you build your own apps on top of the Workday platform. So it's a lot of curriculum development. And I've done curriculum development at a couple of other jobs before this. And then I was also a software developer, like in the middle. I kind of bounce back and forth between education and software development. But yeah, right now we're in an education season of life. But yeah, right now I'm doing a lot of curriculum writing, but we write the courses and then my team passes them off to a team of instructors who are the ones that actually teach it. So I haven't gotten to do much actual teaching, like live instruction, lately, which is part of the reason for streaming, honestly, is because I miss that. I miss like getting to actually interact directly with students. Because you know, that's like why I do it, right? It's like the teaching only matters if it's actually helping somebody. So if you don't get to see the people that are being taught, I don't know, like the feedback loop is not necessarily there. So hopefully this will scratch that itch a little bit. What was your Java class? Did you take it like through school or was it just like a thing you did for fun? Through like I don't know, does Codecademy teach Java? Let's see, what are we doing? I keep getting sidetracked. It's good though. What were we doing? Oh, we were looking at what is new. So these are the new styles that they've added. So we've got our navlinks class, which is cool. They added, did this page refresh? Did they go somewhere else? Where did they go? Navlinks A. Where did it go? Do I need to refresh this? Maybe it's mad because I tried to put my own styles on something and now it's like conflicting with what they were trying to do. I don't know. It seems a little funky. Let's see. Span, nav. But where are you? Oh, maybe it's too small. Maybe my breakpoint is too small. Right? Weren't we adding something responsive? Yeah, min width. Okay. All right, well here, let me delete these other styles that I added to my header because I don't know how that's gonna play nicely. So we'll delete that, and then I think I'm probably on too small of a breakpoint for these to show up. Min width. Okay, always takes me a second. So if the min width, so that means it has to be bigger than 600 pixels, which I bet it's not. I bet it's not. Oop, it showed up for a second there. Yeah. 400. Okay, so let's make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. Yay! There it is. Okay, that's something. Ooh. Hover styles. Does it have focus? Yes. Okay. So then what are we doing? What are we doing on smaller breakpoints? Dot expanded. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll add that in a second. Nav links. Yeah, okay. Display none. So that's why it doesn't show up on mobile. And by mobile, I mean this tiny corner that I've allocated. Oh, nice. Taking... Here. Pop out the chat. You can do it. Come on. Oh, nice. Took the Java class through college. Was trying to get an associate's degree in CS. Awesome. But school has been tough. Yeah. What was hard about it? You don't have to talk about it. I'm a stranger on the internet. But just out of curiosity, like, was it the content, or was it like, I know that when I went to school, I had trouble, like freshman year, I had a lot of trouble, partially I think because it was, you know, like you leave home, or at least I was leaving home for the first time, and then it's like you got all this other stuff to deal with of like, now there are no parents telling me that I need to like eat a vegetable or go to bed on time or whatever. So it's like a little bit of that, just like learning how to manage myself as a human, and then on top of that, all of the school, like learning a totally new language, like learning a new way of thinking to do programming it's a lot all at once. I truly don't know that I would have stuck with it if it weren't for, like, I had a friend who I knew from high school who we both went to the same CS program, and so he was like a huge help in just like sitting with me and going over like what the heck was going on in class. And then a couple professors that we had office hours where they also were really good and like really patient. Because it's a lot. It's a totally new mindset. It's like, if you don't have any frame of reference for how it works, it's a lot to take in all at once. Are there other things that you're studying instead of CS? Like, did you switch to something else? Because that's another thing where it's like, even if you know a little bit of programming, there's a lot of applications, like ways that you could use it in other fields. I used to work, one of my first jobs out of college was at Girls Who Code as like an instructional, or what do we call them? Like a curriculum developer there. And that was one of the things that we tried to build into the curriculum, was just focusing on like, you know, if you know how to program, you don't necessarily have to be a full-time software developer. Like you could know how to program and then use that in medicine or in art or in, I don't know, there were like people building robots that would like 3D print houses like out of concrete. So it's a good skill to have, even if you end up not pursuing software development full time. Like, you can do a bunch of cool stuff with it. Okay, so we were looking at these styles. We know that it's not working, or not that it's not working. It doesn't display on a smaller breakpoint, but we expect that. So I'm assuming now we're gonna have to add some kind of hamburger button. Oh, it tells you. It shows you what the new stuff is that you've added. Okay. Let's see. Resize your window and look for different styles being applied at different widths. It's now responsive. Hooray! I can use CSS to add responsive elements to my site. Sweet. All right, I think this was the last, is this the last section in this unit? Let's see. Send your first script to the browser. Okay, cool. So now we're going to make this component interactive. We're adding some JavaScript. Exciting times. Okay, let's add a hamburger menu to open and close your links on the mobile screen sizes. Cool. Create a hamburger menu component. Write a script to open and close it. Move your JavaScript to its JS file. Okay, don't fully know what that means yet, but we'll find out, I'm sure. Okay, create a hamburger component. New file. Source components. Come on. Oops. New file. Hamburger.astro. Okay. Copy the following code. Okay, so we've got, what even is this? Oh, this is literally the lines of the hamburger component. Or I guess we'll style it. Okay, that's what they're saying. Place this new hamburger component just before your navigation in header. Okay, so we have to import this. So I like how now, now that we've gone through the process of importing a component into other components, like we've already learned how to do that. And so now they're sort of like releasing some of that control to be like, okay, now you try it on your own. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it. Or I guess they give you a way out if you don't remember how to do it. But it lets you practice those skills. That's awesome. Import hamburger from hamburger.astro. Okay. And what did they say? Just before your navigation. Okay, hamburger. Add the following styles. Okay, so this is inside of the global styles. Let's copy just this part. Here, I'm gonna close the other files because I got a lot of files open right now. It's too many. All right. Nav styles. I guess this is still nav styles. We'll put it here. Okay, so what is this doing? We're saying on the hamburger. Did I add a hamburger class? This is like one of the things that I don't like about copy paste is then I'm just sort of executing without really stopping to think about what I'm doing. Hamburger, where are you? Okay, so we had a class hamburger, we had a class line. Okay, so we're saying for the hamburger, use this cursor pointer. I guess that makes it look like a button, something you can click on. Yeah. See how it changes from the little triangle pointer to the little hand pointer? Okay. What's this gonna do on focus, though? Yeah, is it even focusable? It's not. See, I don't know. I don't know about this. Because this is not a button. It's not actually a button component. There's like a lot of work that you have to do to get the features of a button to make like accessibility things, like being able to tab to, like when I hit the tab key, I should be able to cycle through all of the like interactive elements on the page. So if I hit tab, I should go to the hamburger button, but instead I go down here to this GitHub link. Can you see there's like a tiny little, whoops, There's like a tiny blue line around it that shows what's currently focused. So I don't love that. This is another example of like, if we're gonna, if we're gonna have a tutorial for beginners, odds are they're gonna copy this pattern into their own sites once they're done with this tutorial. And so if it's not accessible by default, they're gonna think that that's okay. Like they're not gonna know that it's not accessible because that's like a separate topic. That's not the thing that we're learning right now. But I would want to set them up with good habits of like, build it this way because it will work, and also you will get accessibility features built in. So let's see. I wonder what would happen if I make this a button instead of a div. I don't know what that's going to do to the lines inside. But let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't look good, but now, like, if I press the tab key, you can see that it is focusable, which means that, if I pushed the space, well, probably won't do anything yet, but if I push like the space bar or return, then this would open the navigation menu, which is good for accessibility. I'm torn because I want to add this in here, but I also, like, maybe they'll get to it later. I don't know. What are the odds? What are the odds that we'll circle back to this? I guess I'll just leave this for now. I guess, how can I remove the default styles? Where was this? This was inside of the hamburger. But where were our styles? Ugh, I don't like that these styles are going in this global style sheet either. If they're specific to the nav, I personally like to have the styles living with the components that they're controlling, but that's just me. Oh, let's catch up on the chat. How are we doing? Burnout, yeah, that's so real, especially in college too, when it's like you've got a bunch of classes going on all at once, and it can be hard to juggle it all. Oh no, that's such a bummer about not having a good teacher. It really makes such a big difference. Math, I hear that a lot. I don't understand why in college they put such a heavy emphasis on math. I mean, I guess like if you're gonna do like computer science theory, like algorithms and stuff, like maybe it makes sense to do math classes, but like all of the advanced math that we learned in college, like we had to go up to Calc 3, what was that? Like vector calculus. I have never in a single day on the job have I had to know any of that. Like maybe the stuff that has been useful, like we had to take a logic class. Like what was that called? I don't even remember. It was like linear algebra, but we also had to do some like logic, like truth tables and stuff like that. And that I have used when you're trying to like map out the different cases to use for an algorithm or whatever. But a lot of it feels like unnecessary gatekeeping to me. It's like, I don't know. It feels like something where it's like, we've always had to teach these things because this is just the way that we've always done it. But on the job, like, I don't need those skills. It's like I learned it for the class and then immediately dumped that mental file. Don't tell anybody. Oh, finish high school credits and go to college. That's awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of feelings on the education system in America. I don't know where you are, but in the US, I've got thoughts and feelings, but well, best of luck. I'm sure that if you keep with it, I believe in you. You can do it. Yeah, hamburgers. Hamburger menu. It always makes me hungry. Okay. So what was I going to try and do? I was going to try and take this hamburger... Well, here. So I don't need... If this is actually a button, if I've changed this to actually be a button, I don't need this cursor pointer because that happens automatically with buttons. I also don't need this padding because that's kind of weird. Let's see, what could we do instead? I don't remember how to get rid of the default styles on a button. Maybe we'll add a little padding to the top because it looks funny right now. Let's see, padding top. What do we think? 10 pixels? Nice, good enough. Good enough. Oh, actually, maybe it doesn't do the... Maybe it doesn't do the pointer. The cursor pointer. Well, I guess let's add that. Cursor, pointer. If this reloads. Hooray! It doesn't look great, but it gets the job done. Okay, write our first script tag. Your header is not yet interactive because it can't respond to user inputs. That's true. Okay. Add a script tag provides client-side JavaScript to listen for a user event and then respond accordingly. Okay. So this is nice that it's just, this is just vanilla JavaScript. There's like nothing fancy going on here. What is this? Index.astro. Why are we adding this here? Can you not add this into a component? I guess we'll do that. Okay, follow the tutorial. I'm trusting them. Let's put this in here at the bottom. Okay, before we close the body. All right, so what is this doing? Query selector, so we're grabbing from the page, we're grabbing the thing with the hamburger class, and we're adding an event listener to it, so that when it is clicked, okay, so when the hamburger element, when this button that we made is clicked, then grab the nav links, so grab, what did we add that to? We added it to a nav element. Where did it go? So no, not inside of here. Here. So this is the thing with nav links. So take this list of links that we had and then toggle that expanded class that we saw earlier. So that was the one where, was it just changing? Where did it go? Display unset. Okay, so I guess, what is it unsetting? So it's unsetting where here, when we load the page, if you're at a smaller breakpoint, it's saying set display to none. And then if you click the hamburger button, we're saying toggle the expanded class. So if it's not there, then add it. And if it is there, then remove it. And when that class is added, so when the navigation is expanded, then we're unsetting the display that we set earlier. So unsetting this nav links display none. So basically a long way of saying show it, show this nav links list when the hamburger nav is clicked. Okay, that makes sense to me. Check your browser preview at previous sizes. Did we save this? Did I add that or did I just read it? I think I added it. Let's double check. No, it's not in there. It's in the navigation. No? Is it in the header? Oh no, we copied it into the index because I was like, why are we putting it here? If it needs to live on every page, it should go with the component. But that's fine. I'm sure we'll get to it. I'm sure we'll get to it. So let's go to, well, we have to go to the index page because that's the only one that has the script. Okay, and then if I click this, yay! All right, she's not cute, but she works. That's exciting. Okay, here we go. Importing a JS file. Instead of writing JavaScript directly on the page, you can move the contents of your script tag into its own .js file in your project. Okay, so I assume this we're going to copy out of here. You have to create a new scripts folder. All right, let's do it. Source. Let's do scripts menu.js. All right, now we're going to paste this. Oh, I guess we don't need the script tags because now we're not in an HTML file. Now we're in JavaScript land. Okay, replace the contents and add an import. Again, though, why import this on the index page? Why not put this into the component? Is that not a thing we can do? Well, let's try it. I'm gonna go rogue again. It's like the longer that this tutorial goes on, the more and more it starts to diverge from what they had planned for us, but that's okay. All right, index. So it's saying to import it into here, import our script file into the index page and then also into all of our other pages. But I don't want to have to think about that on every page. I guess this is like a future, I don't know if we do it in this tutorial or not, but like in the future, it would be great to have like one layout component where it just has all of the things that you need for a page there, and then you don't have to, like every time you create a new page, I don't want to have to think like, what was on the other page again? We had the header, or was it the navigation? Because I'll forget, and then I'll miss something, and then I'll be like, why is it different? Okay, so let's see if we put this in. If we put this in here, will it work? I don't know. Script. I guess to that end, like why wouldn't I just put the whole script in here instead of having a separate external script? But it's okay. Import scripts menu.js. What's this gonna do? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, this is still thinking. Yeah, it looks like that works. I don't know. I don't know why they would have us do that, especially because we just learned about the fact that we can have components be reusable. I'm going to leave it like this for now, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt later. Okay, defining. You had previously used some JavaScript to build parts of your site, defining the page title and heading. Yep. Mapping through a list of things. Yep. Conditionally displaying HTML elements. These are all executed at build time. to create static HTML for your site, and then the code is thrown away. The script tag is sent to the browser and available to run based on user interactions, like refreshing a page or toggling an input. Okay, so that's a nice distinction for us to know, because before, last time we had put stuff in these code fences. So I guess anything that we can compute at build time, like when we build our site before we deploy it, we would put that JavaScript in here. And then I guess when it builds, it runs all of this JavaScript and like injects the values into the page as needed. But then for something like this hamburger menu, where it's JavaScript that we need to be on the client side, like when the user loads our page, we need them to get that JavaScript so that this button, when you click it, will actually do something. So I guess we use the script tags. The script tags in these files we can use, or I guess on the pages or in the components, the script tags will be used for client-side JavaScript. We're learning. When does Astro run any JavaScript written in a component's front matter? Okay, so this is what we just talked about. This runs in the front matter here. This runs at build time. Whee! Optionally, Astro can send JavaScript to the browser to allow client-side interactivity. Yeah, okay, cool. The client-side JavaScript will be sent to a user's browser when it is written or imported in in script tags. In global CSS. See, this is an example of like when we were writing assessment questions. Oh, Clifford is dreaming. Can you hear that? He's like kicking his little feet. So yeah, this would be an example of a distractor that's maybe not a plausible distractor. Like this is a wrong answer that is maybe not telling us anything. Because really that's what you want. When you're writing an assessment question, you want people's answers to tell you something. Even if they get it wrong, you want it to tell you something about what they are misunderstanding, so that then as the teacher you can go back and be like, oh, I see that there's a lot of people, you know, who don't understand the difference between the code fences and the script tags. Like if you picked this one, that might be something that it tells you, oh, we need to go back and review that material. But like this one, I mean, I guess maybe it tells you that they don't know where the JavaScript goes. I don't know. It's like a maybe less immediately helpful. Like this tells you, okay, people don't know what's going on, but it doesn't help you pinpoint where they went wrong. Or maybe it does. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Okay, submit. But yeah, if you want to write really good multiple choice questions, that's the pro tip, is to think about what the right answer is, and then think about what misconceptions could lead students to go wrong, and then write an answer that like fits that. Like if they had gone down this wrong path, where would they have ended up? What would be the logical conclusion? Because then like if I'm, you know, if this was my tutorial, then I would want to know, I would want to have some kind of metrics on like how many people click this, because if a bunch of people choose this as the right answer instead of the actual right answer, like then that tells me as the teacher, like I need to go back and adjust our, like where we teach this concept to make sure that that it's actually coming through. But yeah. Okay, checklist. I can add client-side interactivity with JavaScript in a script tag. We did that. I can import a JS file into a script tag. We did that. And it seems like these script tags can go either in a page or a component, which is nice. Okay, check-in unit 4. We did it. So let's pause here for the day. Let me make a new commit. We'll drop in all our things that we learned. Get status. Here, let me make this bigger. Okay, we added some files. We added some new directories. Okay, so let's do git add p. Let me close the Explorer so we can see what we're doing. Git add -p. All right, we added a header and footer component to, what is this, our about page. And then we got rid of the hard-coded one. Cool. And then we did the same thing on the blog page. Cool. And then we did the same thing on the index page. Okay, and then this, we added our styles. Okay, so those are the existing files, and then we should still have this source components. So let's just add all of that. I like to do the git add with the -p because then instead of just being able to see like, oh yeah, these were the files that I changed, it lets you look at the individual chunks within that file that changed, which then makes it easier to write a commit message because I can remember what we did. Okay, and on that note, let's git status. Okay, git commit. What are we gonna say? This was a feature. This is unit 3. Just so I can remember, we added components for the header and footer. And then what else did we do? We made navigation responsive. Made header navigation responsive. With a client-side script tag. Oops, just so I can remember for later. All right, so we've got this. We are going to push it. Okay. And then now what? Now this should start a new deploy for Netlify. It's nice that it's automatic. It should just happen. So last published at 7:04. What time is it now? 8:47. Man, we've been at this for a little while. Let's see. You can do it. I believe in you. How are we doing in terms of... Okay, a little bit of lag, a little bit of dropped frames, but hopefully it's not as bad as it was last time. We're figuring it out. Okay, published. So now this is our deployed site live on the internet. And if I refresh this, yay! So we see our navigation. Interesting. So this is not doing what I thought that it was going to do. So our toggling is not working. I wonder why. If we inspect this. Let's look at our header. Button. Where did I add this? I wonder if, it's interesting that this worked locally, I think, but it didn't work when we deployed it. I wonder if there's something different. Like, I wonder if it does something in the build process that pulls out script tags. That doesn't seem right, but let's see. Where did I put that script? Was it in here? Is this gonna work? Yeah, it definitely works locally. Oh, wait. This wasn't working a second ago, right? We all saw that. I'm not losing it. Let me refresh this page again. And I'm gonna click this. I don't know what happened then. Let's see. If I go to a different page. Ugh, technology. Well, a mystery for another day. But this is good. We made a lot of progress. We got through one whole unit with some nice tangents about education stuff. Yeah, Frogger, I have been having issues. I am using OBS, but it is resisting. I last time that I streamed, I tried recording and streaming at the same time, and it was not happy. And honestly, even this time, I was recording at the beginning, but then was dropping a bunch of frames and was like, well, maybe I'll stop it. Like, I stopped the recording and we played with the encoding presets. I'm still not convinced that it's really working, but we'll try again next time. I was joking, like, I think I might have to invest in a better computer, because I think this is a 2019 MacBook Pro. It's like an Intel one before they switched over to the fancy ones. So, I don't know. Do you stream? Do you have any tips? I've been doing a lot of YouTube, like watching a lot of YouTube videos, but a lot of them get super into the weeds, or they have like super fancy like PCs that they're using, and I don't know, it's just me and my MacBook. But we'll try again. Let's see. How are we doing on the... Yeah, it's definitely skipping more frames. I've got the little stats window that tells me stuff. So 6%, which is still not great, but it used to be, I think when I started, it was like 90. It was pretty bad. Better to stream through your graphics card if your CPU is bad. Okay, I'll have to do some Googling. Thanks for the tip. It's good enough. That's the point that I hit of like, well, this is as good as we can do today. It's either we stream with this or we stream not at all. So we do what we can. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll be back at this hopefully next week if I can figure out how to improve the stream quality, but maybe later if I need to get a new laptop. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming through. Hopefully this was a fun time, even with a little bit of lag. We'll see you next time. Bye.